Swami, what are the means of putting an end to the miseries of samsara like birth and death and of attaining supreme bliss?
O disciple, what a delusion! You are always of the nature of bliss. There is not the least trace of the miseries of samsara in you. Therefore do not take upon yourself the miseries of birth, etc. You are the conscious Brahman which is free from birth and death.
Is not liberation the cessation of misery and the attainment of supreme bliss? If I am already of the nature of bliss, how is it possible for me to attain the bliss which is always attained and similarly to get rid of the misery which never existed?
This is possible just as one can seek and find a bracelet which was on one's arm all the time but which one had forgotten about, and on finding it look upon it as a new acquisition. It is possible as in the case of the serpent which, at no time present in the rope, was mistaken for one, but which seemed to be there and seems to disappear when one discovers that it is only a piece of rope.
Will the non-existence of misery and the existence of bliss coexist in one and the same state, substance, of liberation?
They will, just as the non-existence of the imagined serpent is the existence of the rope. The non-existence of the imagined misery is the existence of bliss.
As bliss arises only from contact with objects, how can I be said to be of the nature of bliss?
The bliss of the self will not be felt in the intellect, which is distracted by desires for objects by one who does not know the self. When the object of desire is obtained, the intellect becomes steady for a moment and turns inward. Then the bliss of the self is reflected in it, and this gives rise to a delusion that there was bliss in the object. But when other objects are desired, this bliss vanishes. It is similar to the bliss which one experiences on the arrival of one's son from a foreign country. It does not last as long as the object which seemed to be the cause of it. Further, bliss is experienced in the state of samadhi and deep sleep, even without objects. Therefore there is no bliss in objects. The self alone is bliss. It is because the bliss of the self alone is experienced by all, that all are proclaimed by the Vedas to be of the form of bliss.
But does the sage, Jnani, who knows the self desire objects and experience bliss, or does he not?
Although he may desire objects and experience bliss like the ignorant person, he does not imagine that bliss to be any different from the bliss of the self.
When the misery of birth, death, etc. is actually experienced, how can it be said that it never exists in me?
Know that the world of birth, death, etc. is an illusory appearance like the serpent in the rope and blueness in the sky, or like dreams, due to your ignorance of yourself, which is Brahman.
What is the support, Adhara, for this extensive world?
Just as the rope is the support and basis for the delusive serpent which appears when the rope is not recognized as such, so you are the support and basis for the world which appears when you do not know yourself.